Scotch Rocks.
Hey everybody, I'm your host Matty Pariah with my boy Fess. This is Scotch Rocks, and today we're going to rock out with Divide the Fall out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Your favorite show.
Pour me up a scotch, throw it on the rocks. Get the first two shelves, reach up to the top. Give me 3 fingers of the best that you got. Gone 21 deep in a hockey on the block. Go on now, pour it up, pour it up, pour it up, yeah, pour it up. Take a little sip, then we do it like this. Show everybody that's what's up.
That's right, Divide the Fall's going to join us today on our show. We're going to get to know all about them and their music and how they deal with the ups and downs of being in a band. We're going to watch a couple of videos. We're going to listen to their sound. They're going to tell us where we can go get their music. They're going to let us know if they wear dresses when nobody's watching. These guys are fantastic, and by the end of the show, I guarantee you're going to kick yourself for not knowing about these guys. We're going to hang out for about an hour, then we're going to talk news, we're going to talk sports, we're going to talk politics, and whatever the hell else we feel like talking about. So we're going to pour ourselves up a glass of scotch, we're going to get down to brass tacks, and most importantly, make some memories. Tell me where you're from, Divide the Fall. I want to, you know what? I saw you in Gillette. I'm going to pick up from there. I saw you in Gillette. I saw you live. You guys kicked the shit out of me because I wasn't even 2 beers deep. So when a band can do that to me and I haven't been drinking, I know for a fact it's going to be a good time, right? So can you tell me a little bit about where you guys are from?
Yeah, so we're based in the Minneapolis area. We all live, well, Matt just moved, but up until recently, we all lived in a suburb kind of around the Minneapolis area. The 3 of us actually grew up in Wisconsin and then moved out here later on. And yeah, Jake and Matt have known each other since, what, middle school, high school?
Yeah, middle school.
Middle school. Yeah, so they've known each other for a while, and then they found me later on, and here we are.
So work out. Did you guys all meet by chance in the mall?
Yeah, it worked out.
You guys
we
saw
went
each
on
other.
The Craigslist section. Just kidding.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So like at
Okay.
Hot Topic, you guys are chilling there. I got it. All right. Cool. So did you guys have tryouts or did it just click? How did it go?
So they auditioned me, yeah, but I think, I mean, at least for me, it kind of just clicked right away. It felt good. I can't speak to them necessarily, but
Yeah, we had one other guy that we auditioned before, and he was a really good screamer, but not a good clean vocalist. And then
at the time, yeah, so they auditioned me, and at the time they were like, yeah, maybe some screaming, but we're mainly looking for a clean vocalist, but if you can scream too, that'd be great. And at the time, I hadn't been into the heavier music for very long, so I was of the mindset that a lot of people are, where it's screaming doesn't take that much talent. Yeah, I could probably do it, sure. Yeah, so I told them that I could, and then I ended up learning later on that I could not, and had to learn how to do it.
he honey-dicked us.
Oh, absolutely.
I like that answer. That's good. So, okay. So with that being said, since you had to kind of get into the genre of can you scream and that stuff, so who were your influences as a lead singer then? What were your influences before this?
Yeah, so big ones for me, Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember. A Day to Remember is the reason that I got into this style of music to begin with. As much of a not great person as he can be at points, Johnny Craig as a vocalist is a huge influence. He was in bands. He founded Slaves, Amarosa, Dance Gavin Dance. So his kind of R&B pop style of vocal was a big influence. Tyler Carter from Issues.
Okay.
Yeah, again, not necessarily a great human being all the time, but fantastic vocalist.
I don't judge people in the music business.
Yeah.
I don't judge fucking
Amen.
anybody.
Who's a great human being 100% of the time?
You know,
Oh, yeah,
you know what?
absolutely.
Everybody in the music business just has this creative thing. So yeah, that's good to hear. What about you guys in the back there? Who are
But yeah,
yours?
so those. Jake, who's your influence for guitar?
Jake, what do you got for me, man? Were you shredding
Come
with
on,
like?
Jake.
Who
Come
you
on,
got?
Jake. Give us something good, bro.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
This
I'm
one's
just
for the
curious,
ladies.
you know, because
What do you got, bro?
I mean, personally, Matt and I have a lot of the similar. I mean, we started in the same place, so like bands like Breaking Benjamin, Red, Chevelle, those are all huge influences. For me personally, Bullet for My Valentine was the reason I started playing guitar. So that
fucking
was
great band.
Man.
huge in my life.
That's a great band. That's one of my wife's favorite
Yeah, when I
bands.
first met him, actually, he was like this kid that was like playing Bullet for My Valentine songs in like the band room, and I was like always like, too afraid to like, talk to him or whatever. But
That's fantastic, man. That's great. You know, because when I hear your songs, one of the things I like about, you know, I won't call it your style. I just know that your style is a little different than what I've heard, which is why you're here. But when I hear your voice, I know you can go both areas, and that's hard to do because most people are just, let's stick with scream or let's stick with this, but there's a lot of clarity even in your screams, which is great. And because I listen to a lot of bands and I can't stand that shit. Like, I'll listen to them and they do it the whole 3.5 fucking minutes. I'll never get it back, right? And so with you guys, you guys go and you go in and it's very well put together. Whoever's doing your production, we'll get to that later, is doing a great job with you. But you're very clear and you can tell you've got some different influences as a lead singer because you really hit notes, man. I mean, I don't, we won't even talk about it.
No doubt.
I don't think it's there. I think you can sing. And so, that's an amazing feat in your genre, you know, which I'm not sure I can quite place yet. So kudos to that. I will say that. And then as seeing you guys live here in Gillette, the way you guys are so well put together from front to back, from the first song to the last song, there was really no hesitation. There was no, my God, if there were problems, you didn't let anybody know it. That's a big part of doing this whole thing. So you guys should give yourselves a pat on the back for that. I was impressed.
I think Gillette was one of the rare shows where we didn't have any technical issues happen. It's like our band's curse. Like every single show we play, something breaks.
we jumped on that show too in Gillette, like super last minute. We ended up driving like what?
I mean, it was 10, 16. It was 16. No. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
West Virginia. No, Wyoming was like 10 or 12 though.
Yeah, we
Was
drove
it
like
really?
through the night to get there. Like I think one of the bands that was supposed to be that slot ended up having to drop the show.
Yeah, it was Eve to Adam was supposed to be direct support. They had to drop off. So then we got contacted. City of the Week got bumped up to direct, and then we took City of the Week's original spot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we just did an interview.
Well,
with
they
City
said
of
hi,
the
by
Week,
the way.
actually, Steph with an F. They do.
Oh,
They
nice.
said hi. They told us to make sure that she dropped your name multiple times.
Yeah, she did, and she told us to tell you that she sent it. They love you, and just so you know that there's a bond there between you guys. Probably starts before we could ever imagine, and you guys stick with those guys too if you can. Just keep going because you guys have something so special, and you can tell that there's a different sound there. I can only chalk it up to Minnesota at this point. I can't really define it, but yeah, it's pretty neat. So I want to ask you just real quick, and I'm sure Fess has some questions for you too. If you guys were all stuck, okay, how do you guys travel? Do you guys travel in a bus? Do you travel in a minivan? Do you travel in a PT Cruiser like we used to, or what do you guys do?
For a long
used to roll in
time,
a PT, man. It was
our
cramped, but we did.
We know all about that.
Yeah, for a long time we used our drummer's Jeep, and then last year we got a van because we were expecting to do a lot more touring.
Yeah,
So
especially
still a
this
lot of
Yeah.
tight
Yeah, we had-
knit. You guys aren't taking
Yeah,
separate
I mean,
vehicles.
it's still
Yeah.
tight, but having a 15-passenger van, yeah, it's still tight, but having a 15-passenger van is much better than being stuck in a Jeep.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question.
Like what
Now that you've answered
Fess is
that,
nodding very vigorously.
if you guys are all stuck, all of you guys are stuck. You guys stink like shit because you guys have done like 12 shows in a row. You don't have a choice, and you guys are fixing to go from Oregon to Florida. And you can only listen to one song because your fucking CD player just took a shit on you, right? You can listen to
my
one
God.
song. And I'm not saying your song. I'm saying let's talk any song from the, and you guys can all have different answers because I look forward to this. I want to know what song that you guys are picking on repeat from Oregon to Florida, because that can be a shit show, as we know as well. So let us know what you got.
So I know Matt's from experience.
the
Into the Dark by Point North.
Okay.
There's a band named Point North, and we were on tour not this past October because stuff was shut down, but the year before. And we were on a 2-week tour out on the East Coast. And I mean, this probably isn't your actual answer, but like we were out on tour on the East Coast for like 2 weeks, and this song had just come out, and I swear at least once an hour, Matt is in the very back of the 15-passenger van going, Hey, can you guys play Into the Dark by Point North? Hey guys, play Into the Dark.
I think you guys think that I requested that way more than I did.
You requested it so often. My guess is that's probably not his actual answer, but
Well, and it's also awesome, right? Because you know he's feeling something in there that nobody else can quite grasp. So that's fucking awesome. So what about yours? What do you got?
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think one of our bands coming home.
Man,
from
I would say for
Jacksonville
me,
was Roxette.
Yeah, we had a lot of Roxette. You know, we're probably before your time. We were listening to music before you were born. So that's definitely true. So tell me what okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to make you feel bad, but I have no clue who Roxette is.
They sing a nice little. Well, fuck it. You know what? When we're done, you could Google it, and then you can make fun of me
had like
later. How's
2
that?
songs.
That's all right.
They had maybe 2, maybe.
They had a
3
few songs. They were all right. I got to tell you, man. They were good. They had a few.
You're probably gonna be right.
What's your repeat song?
Dude, the breakdown in this issue song is so dope. No, just kidding.
I don't even know which song you're
I
referring
don't know
to.
either. You just always get
I was
psyched
trying to
on, like,
catch up there.
specific
No, I would say I would say for me, probably, man, that's tough. Probably a song called "Talk to a Friend" by a band called Slaves. They just released an album.
Gonna be my actual.
Was that gonna be your actual answer?
Yeah.
They just
backing
released
up.
an album this past year. They just released an album this past year, and it's the first album with a new singer. And the record front to back is absolutely phenomenal. But there's a song on it called "Talk to a Friend" that is like the pinnacle of what a radio single that is still different enough to be interesting should be. Like it's so good.
Okay. And the what was the band? I didn't catch that. What was it?
The band is called Slaves.
Slaves. I'm going to check that out. That's awesome. So
Yeah,
just by
they're,
the title, are we talking suicide or what are we going with that?
No, that was kind of the idea that I figured it would be when they first started teasing it. But the line, like the main line in the chorus is, "I wouldn't talk to a friend the way I talk to myself."
So it's like struggling with your own like personal demons and like you treat your
That's
own self
amazing.
like shit. But like
Yeah, it's such a. I think part of the reason I like it so much is, it's just very well written. It's catchy. The melody's great. The guitar parts are all great. But like the way that they were able to take that concept and make it a fully formed song it's so good.
That's deep. Holy
I
shit.
got it right here.
That's impressive. So yeah, well, something's playing in the
It's
background.
just going to be
there.
background.
But I got to tell you, that's awesome. I'm going to look that up when we're all done here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like that song is fantastic. But the record as a whole is incredible. You know, the records they put out with their old singer were all amazing as well. Like, just a really good band that doesn't get enough credit for what they do.
Where are they from? Not to take the light off you. I just where are they from?
Yeah,
they're from like various. I think they're from various parts of the country now.
I can look it up. I'm not sure. I think California.
Yeah, that's
all based.
So tell me, if you guys haven't had any major fights on the road together. You know, bands go through some shit that a lot of people don't go through because there's a different kind of brotherhood there, you know, and so we get real close, and sometimes we get so close that we don't realize that we're having these fights. Do you guys ever have those?
I don't think we've had any on the road that come to mind. I know, you know, we've definitely not necessarily like a fight, but like we've definitely disagreed on different song ideas and where a song should go or not go and stuff like that. But for the most part, what we fall back on is like, let's just try everything, and whatever of these ideas sounds best, even if it's not the one that we initially liked, we're going to go with it because, you know, it's what's best for the song. But yeah, I don't think there's been anything like major on the road or anything like that yet.
I think we all have a pretty good gauge of like each other's, like, especially like on the road, like have a good gauge of each other's, like when the other person is kind of like worn out or just like kind of
like, hey, just leave Jake alone for an hour, like he needs to go cool down type stuff. Like I think you're right. We do just kind of know each other well enough to know when we need to leave each other alone.
Do you find it's always?
Oh yeah, I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
Is it always the drummer? Just out of curiosity, is it always the drummer? Because I know that they're a fiery master.
Jack is like the least confrontational.
Yeah, no, Jack, our drummer, is like the least confrontational person I've ever met.
That's awesome. That's awesome because I know most drummers are
like,
fucking fiery fuckers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like as long as whatever we suggest or whatever we're gonna do doesn't actively harm him, he doesn't care. And honestly, even if it did actively harm him, he probably still wouldn't care.
He'd be like a little suspect about it, but then he'd be like, you know,
yeah, sure, whatever.
So that's going to bring me to my next question. Okay, so you guys are doing the band thing, and you guys are you all in relationships, or how is that affecting how you guys are doing? I know this year it's been a struggle. We'll get into that in a minute, but are you? I know Matt, you're married, or somebody's married, and then I don't know. I try to research a lot of folks here, and I had a shit time doing it, and I apologize because a lot of you guys are doing your own thing, but married, kids.
Yeah. So
how is this affecting your lives, being in a band?
So none of us have kids.
Okay.
Matt is married. The rest of us are in relationships. But honestly, I think, you know, we've all been really lucky to find people who are really supportive of what we do, and understand that, you know, there are going to be, you know, tours where we're gone for a month or 2 months or whatever, and they're willing to put up with us not being there for a little bit of time and do what we love to do.
I only ask that because when you're a musician, you have a dream, and I'm not sure everybody's dream's a little different. Okay, so there's some people that just want to do it like most people do 8 to 5s, and some people want to rule the world. I get it. I think everybody gets into this and does it for a reason. And to have that second half to you is a huge part of that. It's not. If you don't have that, then you have to go about it single. You know what I mean? So that's the only. I don't need to get in touch with your personal lives. I just was asking because that's a big part of this, right? I mean, if you don't have that, where are you guys at? It's not going to go very far. So I was just kind of curious how you guys go about that. So
yeah, I think we've all just gotten really lucky, honestly.
And they're good supporters, and you guys are, everything's good, huh? That's good. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, out of all the songs you do, what's your favorite?
Oh, like favorite recorded version or favorite to play live?
Well, I'll leave that one up to you. It doesn't. You tell me.
So live, I would say we only got to play it a few times before stuff shut down, but Fake Love is so much fun to play live. For me as a vocalist, it's fun because the melody is kind of all over the place and there's some fun runs and stuff that I can do. But like then the breakdown hits and like all hell breaks loose and it's so much fun.
So that's why I love that song. Your range in that song, your band, first of all, is kick-ass. So being a lead singer is nothing without that. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because the band you play with, they're fucking so solid. I mean, and so when you're a great lead singer, really... So many people want to put a lead singer in the front spot, and me, I like to give everybody their fair share there, right? Because there's just something to be said about being able to go up there with confidence. And Matt and Jake and where's the other guy? Where the fuck is he? You tell him he's a fucking weak sauce for not being here tonight. But I got to tell you, I'm sure he's got something. But the idea there for me is there's just this beautiful thing between everybody. They know their instrument, they know their place, they know when they can shine, and they know this. And so the song that you were just talking about is one of my favorite songs, the Fake Love song. It's a great song because it also really shows off your range, right, as a lead singer. Am I wrong when I say that? Or, because you kind of go there.
It definitely gets up there.
Yeah, you go there. You didn't even... We're going to play that right now. I'm going to play it right now because, I mean, when I heard this thing, I was like, holy shit, this fucking guy. There might be a little bit of a fucking, I'm impressed all the way around with it. So it's not going to be too loud. You guys are going to be able to hear it.
Another night, another high you're chasing, another lie just to keep me hanging on a feeling. I can't believe that I thought that you could change. Caught up in all the games you're playing, I can't bring myself to walk away. Play along and maybe this time everything will turn out alright. You say that you want love, but then you say it's not enough. Should've known from the start that you leave me in the dark. I'm sick of this fake love, when I'm not the one you're dreaming of. I'm more in love with the thought of wanted in myself to let go, sever the ties to the high that got me low. So scared of being alone, forcing feelings just to stay close. You say that you want love, but then you say it's not enough. Should've known from the start that you tear my world apart. I'm sick of this fake love, fake love. When I'm not the one you're dreaming of, dreaming of. I'm more in love with the thought of the you that I wanted than who you really are. I'm sick of this fake love, and it's tearing me apart. Fucking fake love, done with me, now you're on to the next one. And all of the apologies you gave to me never meant a fucking thing. Now you're gone. Fucking fake love, don't lie, you're on to the next one. And all of the apologies you gave to me never meant a fucking thing. Now you're gone. I'm sick of this fake love, fake love. When I'm not the one you're dreaming of, dreaming of. I'm more in love with the thought of the you that I wanted than who you really are. I'm sick of this fake love, and it's tearing me apart. It's tearing me apart. Sick of this fake love, and it's tearing me apart.
Fucking Christ, you guys. What the fuck? All right, before I even say anything here, when I say you went there, when you went high there, I tried to do it and I actually dropped a testicle on the floor. I don't know how you did it. I'm not sure what you did there, but tell me about when you guys wrote this song. What was going on in your head? Something happened to one of you, or maybe you universally wrote it for somebody. But what did happen there?
So we started with the chorus idea, which was something I came up with, and essentially it was just like a relationship that I don't even know how to describe, honestly. Like, it was just a weird relationship looking back at it. But it was, when it was over, it was kind of like, I just need to vent about this and write something about it. And yeah, the chorus is kind of what came out from that. And then we wrote a song around it, that was kind of similar to what it ended up being.
Yeah, like that riff ended up, it was like a different idea originally.
Yeah, like we wrote a song around it and essentially ended up scrapping half the song and rewriting it. And yeah, it ended up coming out, I think, better than any of us expected it to be honest. Like, I think we knew we had
you guys have like
that song's a hit fucking song. Let me just say that right now. I've listened to hit songs.
Do you guys?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Maddie. I'm sorry.
No,
you're up. I was just kind of curious. Do you guys do music first and then lyrics, or do you do lyrics first and then music?
So it's a little bit of both. I can name examples of our songs for all of them. So Fake Love was a situation where I had the chorus, lyrics, and melody like set in stone, like this is the idea. And I came home so Jake and I lived together. So I came home one day and I was like, yeah, I've got this idea. And he's like, I can find some chords for that. And we kind of wrote the whole song around that. We had an original verse part that was all right, and I ended up not liking, and I was like, we can do better. And then we came up with what's actually in the song, and then ended up rewriting the music in the verse part around that. So that song is very much, the the lyrics and the melody came first, and the rest came after. But we've got other songs like off of our first EP, Left for Dead. It was the first single we ever released, and that one was very much, the music was there, and we wrote lyrics to it. And then we've got some in between where City Lights was written kind of all at once. Matt was kind of playing around with this really basic idea on guitar, and I went, hey, I think I've got something that would go with that, and the whole song came together in 2 hours?
If that, yeah. I feel like that's the fastest song we've ever written.
That's a
Really?
great
So yeah,
song.
I like it.
it's a little bit all over the place. I don't know that we have a set process that we really follow.
You know, I love the connection between you guys, because you can tell when a band just has it, from the kick drum to the bass to the singer. And when you went there, when you decided to go to that high note in that last song, I just have to ask you, was it always there in your mind, or did it just kind of come to you as you were going? Or, I mean, that high note is, hit songs come when people change it up. You know what I mean? And that's an amazing part of that chorus.
Yeah, that was the original idea, I think. I don't remember changing that
I think
at all.
the idea for it being like a falsetto, like high note, was because of the key changing. Like when we were playing around with different tunings for the song.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, if you go really high on that note, it might sound cool if you did it like in a falsetto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
like,
you start there's a rule, you don't use 3-syllable words here. Okay? Don't say falsetto. I'm just kidding. No, I absolutely understand what you're talking about right there, because when I heard this song, when you went there, that song for the rest of my life will grab me, and I'll play it for everybody I ever know. And so kudos to you guys for writing that one. I mean, that's a big one.
Thank you.
As far as I'm concerned,
I don't even have to play the other.
yeah, no, you just go put that one on fucking repeat. I do that all day long, man. Fesh, you got some questions for these guys right now, man? Because I got a bunch more, but I know you got some.
I do, but this is just a kind of a fun question. So you guys, you go out, you use a van or something along the lines, correct?
Yeah,
right? When you
we
go
have
out
a
on
15
tour?
passenger van.
And a
Okay,
trailer.
this is just for shits and giggles. Which one is not allowed to drive on the whole ride?
Matt.
I'm not as bad of a driver as they
I
think
just
I
had
am.
to know. I was curious.
If there weren't a trailer involved, I think we would trust you more.
Yeah.
But with a trailer on the end of it too, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh,
I feel like
I just know that when him and I were out touring and there were three of us, it was kind of the same thing, because I drove this PT Cruiser at the same time. You know, it was like, that was my baby. You know, I loved this car, but it was like nobody else was allowed to drive it. And then finally, like halfway across the country between Florida and Montana, I just went, you know what, Maddie, you can drive. And I laid in the back seat and I just like stared out the window the whole time. I couldn't sleep. I was so damn tired, but I couldn't sleep. And I was like, Maddie, you can drive. You tossed him the keys and laid back there the whole time, and there was no comfort. So I was just curious.
There's a lot of land.
so-
There's a lot of land between those states, you know. I mean, you guys know that. And when your guys are driving, and it can be just insane. I mean, you always want to see the biggest spoon in the United States, and you always want to see some of the cool things along the way. But for the most part, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, does this road ever fucking end?
Yeah.
You know, who are you going to
Pass out
trust
at
to
a
drive?
truck stop and hear your partner go, oh, God, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, what the fuck is he dreaming about?
So the worst drive that we ever made, we kind of the same way as it worked out in Wyoming, we last minute got on a festival in West Virginia. From Minnesota to West Virginia is about a 17-hour drive. And we left on a Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. we got to the festival at just before 9 a.m. We had to be there at 9. We got there just before 9 a.m. We unloaded, got all of our shit where it needed to be, and checked in and all that stuff. We played our set, stuck around for the rest of the day, left at midnight, drove 17 hours back to Minnesota. We were back in Minnesota by Sunday night.
God.
It was 34 hours. 34 hours in a Jeep. And the worst part is that they were like, yeah, we've got this gear you can use, so you don't have to bring all of your stuff. Just bring your guitars, your snare, your cymbals, and your heads. Like, don't worry about anything else. We've got backline gear you can use. So we didn't bring the trailer. We packed everything into the Jeep. This was before we had a van. We packed everything into our drummer's Jeep, to the point that Matt and I were sitting in the back seat. And you would open the car door, and it was just like a person-sized cutout between all of our gear that you had to slide into.
That was probably the worst part.
Oh, it was awful.
It's just so uncomfortable.
On the way back, we were probably like an hour out from being home, and my knees were just on
You can't
fire
bring that
because I had
Slurpee in here. We can't fit an extra Slurpee in this motherfucker right now. You can't do that.
Legitimately, we couldn't fit anything else in that car.
What did we have laying across us? Oh, it was a tent. Yeah, it was a tent.
Yeah.
So we could have merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a merch tent that we brought with us, and it was laying across our laps in the back seat.
That's fantastic.
Was it on our way down? I think
That was the best
Maddie was
question
like
ever.
keeping. Yeah, Maddie was like keeping texting on Facebook, like every move we made the whole trip from like Montana, Billings, Montana to Jacksonville, Florida. And Maddie was like texting everything. And I think my favorite quote from the whole time was, "Here we are crossing the border into Georgia. It's starting to smell like socks and fucking cabbage in this car."
So here's the thing, though, guys. Like, you guys grew up in an era where Facebook was already a thing, right? So when Fess and I were on tour, I don't want to get on us too much here, but when Fess and I was on tour, it was MySpace just became a distant memory, right? So because back in the day, if MySpace was even a thing, you could friend somebody in Tanzania, right? I think we talked about this, and then you could add them, and they would like, sure, I'll check out your songs. And then you had 75,000 fucking fans, but they didn't have to be fans. It just was, hey, this many people are following you, right? The internet was just the beginning of this thing. When Fess and I started, we were still having to hustle out of our trunk, right? We had to do things differently than now. We didn't have streaming services and shit like that, which is way cool now. It's actually depleted our sales, as you know, as a band. But you know, we could put out a CD, charge $16, we charge merch, we go on, but all of a sudden here's this social media thing that we could really play on, right? And it was kind of fun. And I don't think really, as grown adults, nobody really knew about it. I think if you were a 14-year-old at the time, they were starting to fucking figure it out, right, Fess? But it was neat because it was so new to us that we sounded like a bunch of fucking old fogies on this fucking thing, is the point.
We already were old fuckers. I mean,
you know, it's like shit. I was like, here we are. Look at us. Look at this. Not that, but check this out. And so it was kind of funny. And so we all have that at our leisure now, right? We can pull people in and on this social media platform, which can be a great thing and a terrible thing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I love the fact that social media became a thing at our prime, and you guys have had this at your leisure, obviously, from the get-go, correct?
Yeah.
And the unfortunate part there is, you know, when you have all this, you know, back in our day, we would have to do CD Baby or something like that, and you were still making some decent money. But then Spotify and all these streaming services came in, and now all that hard work that you guys do, it takes hours, and it takes planning and thought and love into a song. you put it out there and you get 0.005 cents per stream is almost a sucker punch to the fucking gut, is it not? Am I lying there? Or fill me in on how you feel about
I mean,
you know.
You know, we definitely so like we know another Minneapolis band. They're called Cold Kingdom. Great band, good people, and you know they have enough of a following on streaming that they make some decent money from it. You know, they can pay van payments and practice space rent from it. You know, which great for them. So you know, there is a point where there are some returns, but yeah, for a band like us where you know, we range anywhere between 5 and 20,000 people a month that listen to us on Spotify. You know, we'll see a little bit here and there, but you know, to anyone watching this who doesn't know much about streaming versus buying, like, if you want to support a band, buy their shit. Like, buy the CD. Buy the CD, and then if you're never gonna listen, if you don't have a CD player. Yeah, like if you don't have a CD player, still buy it.
Yeah, so that's my point. You know, I what I wasn't trying to do there was try to figure out your income. What I was trying to do there is when COVID kicked in here. Yeah. What happened is nobody can get out there and make their money on merch. They can't make the money where money is due. Correct? I mean, you can't sell the tickets. Yeah. You can't, you know, I wasn't trying to figure out your income. What I was trying to do there is times have changed. We're up against a serious wall as musicians here. They've made it so accessible that people think that they deserve it for free. And so, you know, where I'm going here is we have to go bust our asses. So when something like COVID hits, and it takes that away from us. It takes our energy. It takes just about everything away from us that we can possibly get to. We are up against a very big mountain there. So what I was trying to do there was just trying to lead into this. You know, it's really hard.
Yeah, for sure.
When we make a song, that's what it used to be when Fess and I were doing music. It was about the song, and people would pay for the song. Well, now... You know, you want to make sure they pay for your tickets at the show, and you want to make sure they pay the tickets for the jean jacket or whatever the fuck you got going on out there. It doesn't really matter. Jean jacket, Jesus, did that just tell my fucking age? So the point is,
you're coming back in style.
Yeah, you work very hard. I mean, what you're doing is a legit business, you know. But all these people come in and they're like, "Oh, stream this, stream this." Well, okay, fine. So now that somebody can. The consumer is saying, I deserve this for free.
I think part of what happens too, and you know, I would say that up until we were releasing music and it was streaming and stuff, I wasn't really knowledgeable on it either. I think a lot of what happens is people, you know, they pay their $10 a month for Spotify or whatever. And I think there's, you know, this kind of general assumption that like, oh, I'm paying $10, like this is going to the artist I listen to. And the reality is it's not. But I think people just don't necessarily have enough education on the topic to really fully understand like what the difference is between streaming a song 20 times versus buying one CD. So, you know, I don't fault anyone. Yeah, I don't fault any fans for it. I don't think there's any malicious intent behind any of it. I just think that people don't necessarily understand what's going on.
Yeah,
and we're not like anti-streaming or anything.
No,
Like, you definitely can make good money. Like you were saying, you kind of compared like another band.
Yeah.
But like, you can make good money with Spotify and Apple Music, like if you're marketing it correctly. It sucks that the amount that you're paid out per stream isn't more. I think that's probably my thing. Is like
I'm with you there, Matt.
You know,
I'm with you there, Matt.
I saw a really interesting response.
Yeah.
I saw a really interesting response to that in that somebody had the idea that the way Spotify should pay out artists, and you know, this is a whole lot of infrastructure change on their end and stuff, and it probably would never happen. But I saw somebody mention that the way Spotify should pay artists is rather than a set rate per stream, they pay out artists. So if I pay $10 a month for premium, and I listen to these 5 bands, then my $10 goes to those 5 bands based on percentages that I listen to them.
I like that.
Again, it's a lot of infrastructure change on Spotify's end, and I really don't think they would ever do it. But
I'll move on from that. Give me your best fan story, guys. You guys got somebody you love that came up to you and said, you know what, you fucking changed my life. Not only that, you changed the 9 guys behind me lives. You know, do you guys, we could get into that all day, but give me that. What do you got there? You got a best fan story?
Is there one that stands out to you off the top of your head?
I mean, recently I had a fan, reach out to me about how, a couple of our songs have, impacted them, helping them through, struggles that they're having with bipolar disorder or getting through, suicidal thoughts and, depression and that stuff. Even though, it's crazy that, people, are, open up to us sometimes, in that way. But it's awesome to hear those stories, how, because, maybe, we're in the same place, when we're writing the songs, definitely, some of the lyrics that I know that I've written are from some of, the darkest times that I've, gone through. So it's crazy it's kind of cliche, I guess, because, every band says it, oh, man, all I could ever hope is for my song to touch somebody, but it's surreal when it actually happens to you, when somebody's
that's the real thing. Yeah, you're right. I mean, when somebody
do you
says
guys
what
share
you just did
lyric writing responsibility, or just out of pure curiosity on the lyric writing?
So
is that one person? Do you guys all separate it up apart and just write a whole song that way? I'm kind of curious. You guys write some seriously good lyrics.
Yeah, so it's mostly Matt and I that write lyrics. There's some songs that I'll write pretty much all of it. Some songs that Matt writes pretty much all of it. Other songs that we do a little bit of both. Broken off of our last EP, Matt wrote pretty much all of that. I Won't Fade Away, also off the last EP, I sat down and Matt had the original idea. Yeah, he had a couple lines that he had written, and I sat down and wrote the rest of the song in a half hour or so. So it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, for the most part, Matt and I write the lyrics.
If I ever have my own ideas, I try to form it into a song structure before I bring it to them. If there's ever stuff that they've written or lyric ideas that he has that maybe are missing different pieces, I always just try to help add something to it if I can, even if it doesn't stick or whatever. But
it's definitely clearly working out for you guys, because whatever you guys are writing is really moving for you. That's for sure. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I think The Storm off of our first EP is a really good example where Matt had the original idea for it, but I think the end product was a pretty good mix of both of us writing. Yeah. But then I really suck at sitting down and finishing the song. Because I had the initial idea. I'm like, oh, this is really good. This is really good. I need a verse part for this. Whatever. I'll deal with that after we have the music written.
Sounds real.
Do you guys ever look? You guys ever look at Jake behind you there and tell him he talks too fucking much? Do you guys ever tell him that?
All the time.
Because he's fucking talking. He's talking a fucking awful lot. It's not that I don't have questions for you. I just kind of fucking expect you to chime in. But I got to tell you, you've been gangster as shit behind this fucking shoulder. I respect that more than anything.
He looks like he belongs in a hardcore beatdown.
Yeah, I just got to say, if there's anybody I'm afraid of in your band, it's that guy right there. So tell me about I know, you can tell. He's a fucking great musician, too. So, Jake, to your credit, wherever you came from.
He's a teddy bear until he has to not.
I got to tell you, man.
What band it was? Like, he got into an
I watched that kid on stage. He's all business. I watched that kid on stage. He's all fucking business. I got a kid that your guys' age. You know, it's amazing to me to watch people that are that set on changing lives. So, Jake, I appreciate you what you do for this band. So don't. I was just kidding. So don't look at you. You want to fucking kill me right now? I'll give you my address. Bro. So
he is a teddy bear unless he
has to not be.
Where did you guys come up with your band name? Because I've sat there. Jen handed me the candle, right? She put the candle in the koozie, okay, and then she's like, "Check this out." And I'm like, "Fucking, I love that," because when it starts getting down towards the bottom and it illuminates all the divide the fall shit, right? Which I think is great, because if you guys want your next little merch thing, do a candle. Because that thing looks dope as shit when it gets halfway down. So tell me about where Divide the Fall band name came from. Did you guys all come with this? Did you guys look it up in Google? Did you go punch a third grader and he said, Divide the Fall? What the fuck happened?
Solid question. That's solid. That's solid.
So okay. When we first met, I was 19, almost 20. Oh, we lost Fess. So when we first met, I was 19, almost 20. So these guys would have been, what, like 22, 23? So, we were young and immature. I say that like we aren't still now. So Matt came to practice one day, and this was a point before we were really finishing any songs or like looking to release anything. It was just kind of sitting down and writing and seeing where stuff went. Matt came to practice with the idea for the name to be Divide the Fall, and we were kind of like, yeah, like that's a decent name. Let's see what else we can come up with. And then we realized that the initials for Divide the Fall are DTF, which, is... Yeah, exactly. We're like, well, whatever name we come up with has to have the acronym DTF.
I don't want to cut
whatever name...
Amazing.
So we're like, whatever name we decide on has to have the acronym DTF. And we just couldn't think of anything better, so we stuck with Divide the Fall.
The most amazing story for a band name ever, right? Like that's amazing. I love that. Yeah.
The world was in a pretty divided state as it is right now.
Yeah,
and that was also
agreed.
Kind of,
yeah, I mean, it was absolutely like a play on the kind of, united we stand, divided we fall type, saying. Sure. But then we realized that the acronym, and we had to go with it.
I love it. I absolutely love that story, especially the DTF part. Jesus Christ. That is where it's at. I mean, before everybody got so fucking serious and all of a sudden everybody got serious. And Matt, I know you don't want to talk about politics, and I don't either. I'll be honest with you. It's the one thing I talked about this with Steph with an F earlier. It's really simple. Everybody's got it wrong. Because the reason why they have it wrong is because if it applies to your emotion, they're writing about it, and then you share it, and it can be wrong. Okay, that's the problem with social media, which is where we're going to go next. We're going to get to your next song here in a second. But I do want to say, whenever social media is involved in our lives now, it can't be just simple. It can't be, hey, here's my casserole, or hey, here's the new Divide the Fall song, or hey, here's this. It's got to be, you know what? Fuck this guy and fuck that guy and fuck all the policies, and it's got to be this and that and the other, okay? We don't have to get into politics because personally I don't give a shit. Turn that whole fucking thing, DC, into a sandals, and I'm happy, okay? that thing has been fucking us over for the last 100 years. Okay. So I don't have to talk about DC because everybody's got their loves. When you have to choose between two evils, you're never gonna win. So the whole point, the whole point of this, you know, is social media it's dividing us because when we feel so passionate about something, well, you know, whether it's Black Lives Matter or it's this or that, somebody's going to post something and it could be totally false information, but it speaks to how they're thinking. Okay, so that's where our world's going right now, and it's up to us as people. In my opinion, when you're a band of your stature or you know, a show like this or any show, we're the ones responsible to say stop that. Okay. So, you know, you guys have to start, if you want to come together, then you have to start accepting the fact that that guy's not going to agree with you. And the reason he doesn't agree with you is because what you're posting is absolute nonsense. It's not true. Not only is it not true, it's it's like volatile, right? So it's up to us as people in the public eye. That's what you chose to do for a living. You chose to be in the public eye. You want people to come and see you. So I feel like it's our responsibility to change that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, and to that point, I think, you know, obviously we haven't been able to have live shows for a bit now, but, you know, live shows are kind of that prime example of, you know, forget everything else outside of this. Like, come together, enjoy what's happening in the moment, just be a person and, you know, enjoy life. You know, think about what's important.
What's the what's the song that you guys want to take us into right now? What video?
Oh man, what should we do next?
Probably Bring You Down.
Bring You Down.
That tends to be kind of like the other fan favorite.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Let me click on this. Let's make sure that we're not going to end up on a Perk commercial, and then we'll fucking. Whoa!
As you built me up, you tore me down, cut me to pieces and burned me to the ground. You left me bleeding out. So tell me, is it all for nothing? I just wanna feel that I'm good for something, 'cause lately I can't find a reason, and I can't let go of these feelings that push you away from me. I never wanted to bring you down with the words inside my head. I just needed to say out loud all the things I never said, 'cause I'm broken and I'm hoping that you will understand. I never wanted to bring you down again. Still in love with the ghost of who we used to be, haunted by the thought that you're everything I need, and I can't bury these dead memories. So tell me, is it all for nothing? I just wanna feel that I'm good for something, 'cause lately I can't find a reason, and I can't let go. I never wanted to bring you down with the words inside my head. I just needed to say out loud all the things I never said, 'cause I'm broken and I'm hoping that you will understand. I never wanted to bring you down again.
Christ. Let's start there. What in the fuck? What you do know is how to play music. You know, and Jake, I need you to shut up here, okay? Because you're loud, you're obnoxious. I'm tired of this shit.
You're loud, you're obnoxious.
Okay, so I mean, it's real. It's clear. You guys all have. You have the stuff. Like everything you're doing here. That's why you're on the show. I'm not picking people that are like mediocre. I'm picking people that's like, how the fuck do people not have this CD and they're not living in a mansion that they're inviting me to? That's why you're on this show. So was the goal the whole time to get out there and not do anything else? You know, because I think every band in their upcoming or even in their ending, it's like, hey, we want to go change the world with what we have to say, even if it's just for a minute, you know, and then we'll accept the
I mean, I think going into it, all of us were kind of the same mind that this is what we want to do full time. You know, it's not going to be easy by any means, but if we can find a way to make this work and to make a living off of it, that's what we want to do.
So with that said, what was the show that said we finally found it?
I think, you know, maybe you guys have a different one. But for me, I think it was when it would have been one of the last shows we played before stuff shut down. We played a hometown show last February. It was in Minneapolis, and it was, you know, it wasn't a huge room. It was probably like I think it was like 150 cap room.
200 if you're really pushing it.
Yeah, like if you're like nuts to butts, it's 200. But it was 150
right?
cap room.
Just felt good.
Yeah, well, yes, it was 150 cap room, and we're headlining this hometown show, and the place was sold out, and it was, you know, we hadn't played a show in Minneapolis since I think like October, and it was February at the time, so it had been a few months since we played in Minneapolis, and like I'm watching the opening bands play. I'm in the back at the merch table, and I just kind of took a moment and looked, and I was like, holy shit, like this place is full. Like this is nuts. Like there are people from the front of the room to the back packed in for this show. And I think for me, that was definitely a moment where I was like, oh, like people actually appreciate what we're doing and they want to see us. Like, this is awesome.
And Jake, I think
there's definitely been other moments like that.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. He's not even fucking paying attention. I'm fucking kidding, you guys. You guys, it's okay, Jake. I love you, buddy. You know what? We're going to do this another time. I guarantee it. We're going to have some fun again. And thank you, guys, for joining us.
I'll make sure next time it's with him.
I'll email you guys here in a little bit. Thanks so much. You guys pick a number between 1 and 15.
12.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Sounds good.
All right, yeah,
Love you guys. The news. We're gonna do the news. News. Do you have news? What do you got? Did you get some fun stuff? I got some fun shit.
You know, I did. But I got to pull up this website real fast. And it was a couple of things that I popped up and saw. This just really shocked me, and I was kind of glad that I found this page. Venus flytraps produce magnetic fields when they eat. So when you get like a fly that lands over the top of a Venus flytrap, it actually like emits this really weird magnetic field. And I know that this is just totally off topic, but I mean, who thought, right?
This is the topic, and I like it.
It's its own little Death Star. They're carnivorous little plants. If you guys don't know what the Venus flytrap is, but it's got these little tiny magnetic signals, and when it's about ready to actually kill the thing, it'll suck a magnet clean off of your refrigerator. It's awesome.
Wow. So like when it's getting hungry and something's getting ready to fly around it, like let's say a fly, okay? So it actually has its own gravity. Is that what I'm getting there? It actually pulls it in?
Wherever there's electrical activity, there's also a magnetic activity. So, and every human or animal or plant or insect all has its own little electrical wave that it puts out. And every time the electrical wave is actually what sets off the head to snap shut and kill a Venus flytrap. There's your dose of science for today.
Well, I'll be fucked.
You ever wonder if there's like a life-size, like man-eating Venus flytrap, like down in the Amazon or something? You've heard stories of giant man
Like Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Yeah, like Little Shop of Horrors. You think those actually exist?
Like little. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep going off the Little Shop of Horrors thing because I bet they do. Do you know who Marion Ramsey was? Marion Ramsey. She played. She was in the Police Academy movies. She was like the really soft voice.
Was it the lady that she started off, oh, really super tiny soft, and then all of a sudden she just exploded?
Yeah,
that girl.
Yes, I think she played Laverne Hooks, and she was awesome. Well, she passed away, and she passed away this year, and I was looking up some of the folks that I used to just love, and she just happened to pass away, and so that got me thinking about other celebrities that passed away this year already, and of course there's a list of them, but she was cool because those movies, me growing up, I thought they were freaking hysterical. I watch them now and they're completely ridiculous. But she was a Broadway star too. I had no idea she was a Broadway star. But I guess the point was that she was starting to do something for the Little Shop of Horrors, and which it tunes right into what you were saying. And
was this like a Broadway version? Cool. Broadway version?
I think so. I think so. If I read it right, they were getting ready to do something, and maybe not Broadway, but like a Los Angeles area type play or something, and she was going to be in it, or maybe was in it. I didn't quite get all the way through it. I just knew that it kind of rang off of what you were saying, but it got me thinking about celebrity deaths. And I had no idea some of these people died this year.
Based me. Who we got?
Hank Aaron.
I heard about
the Hammer. Yep, that's one of the. Well, he's the only guy that's been in 25 All-Star games, or he was,
wow,
he was a 25-time All-Star. That's huge.
Impressive. That's huge.
He was 86, so bless his family, and I hope everything's good there. Larry King passed away. The king of interviews, they call him.
I never thought that guy would pass away. He was almost like a living version of a real vampire. I mean, it was like, you just see him rolling around like he just sucked a neck, and he just revitalized, and he got 20 years younger as he got 20 years older. I never thought he would keel over. I agree. At all.
I thought this whole time it was like Weekend at Bernie's, and there was like two dudes just under the chair doing shit for him. But check this number out, right? Like we've done a couple interviews for Scotch Rocks now, like 2, okay, so far, and
a couple.
And he did 50,000 interviews.
Wow,
50,000 interviews,
and I can't even remember 1.5.
Yeah, I had trouble myself there. I'm gonna blame it on the Scotch.
Oh my goodness!
Screech, Dustin Diamond. Screech from Saved by the Bell.
I'm gonna sip for Screech. Screech was my man because he had such a good heart, and everybody always shit on him, and fucking Zach Morris always left him out to dry every single time.
I know that a lot of those folks, they went on to have other careers and did some things, and it always felt like Screech, just based on his character, had tough time. Finding other roles outside of that. It was almost permanently branded to him, but he was only 44, man. I'm fixing to be, well, fuck, I'm gonna be 40 fucking 4
Well,
So
he
I
had only been out there for about a week that he actually had cancer. So it was only like a week's notice, and then the next thing you know, like he's dead. And like that was
is
fast.
that right?
Yeah, like
So,
the notice had only been out for about a week that he like confirmed that he had cancer. It was one of those cancers that it started somewhere in his body and then it metastasized. I think that's the word. That's a big word, and a little bit
good
more
job.
Scotch, I'll be able to say it clearly. But it
All right, you did well.
metastasized to his lungs, and that's what ended up taking him.
Well, I'll be damned. That was fast. That poor guy. Yeah, well, he's just so damn young. And I don't want to botch this name, but I think it's Jerry Marsden. I just remember him because he played with Jerry and the Peacemakers. It was a British band. And he passed away. His one hit, well, he had a few hits. Of course, over there they would know way more than we would. But You'll Never Walk Alone was one of the hits that I remember. He passed away. He was 78. Rock stars, man, you know.
Rock stars.
Gotta go with
lot
some
of
rock
coke.
stars. Those
A lot of coke.
Tommy
a lot of
Lasorda,
miles on the
my
road.
guy.
Oh, Tommy Lasorda. Now that
He
one
finally
one
died.
actually hit me hard. Tommy Lasorda was
Yeah.
was one because I remember Lasorda went from when I was a kid. And that was actually why I started liking baseball in the first place, was watching Tommy Lasorda just rip a fucking umpire's asshole from the inside with his bare hands and just show it to the crowd.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I remember him from maybe the Tums commercials. Like he was like the
Slim
poster
Fast.
boy for the.
Slim
Oh, is
Fast
that what it
and
was?
Tums.
There you
Well,
go.
I think Tums too. I mean, I know we had.
I feel
Tough
like he was the
Acting,
poster boy
but that
for
was-
acid reflux. I don't remember, but he died of a heart attack. But he got up there. Lasorda did. Let's see. I wrote it down. How old was Lasorda? He was in his 90s, 93. He was 93 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so he had a good life. Yeah, he was my
Of course,
boy.
Christopher
He was one of the
Plummer.
reasons.
Sound of
Oh, yeah,
Music.
I just saw
Christopher
that.
Plummer,
Yep.
91
I
years
just
old,
saw
passing
that.
away. That was kind of rough.
Yep. Boy, he was a handsome fucker, wasn't he? Even at
Yeah,
91, the guy looked
even at
better than most
91, I'm looking at his picture right now, and I'm like, God, if I ever make it to 91, I hope I'm that good looking. I mean, I'm not even that good looking now at my age. I mean, that's just horrible.
people. He was a good looking son of a bitch. Do you like chicken and waffles?
Chicken and waffles, absolutely.
Okay, well, so does this guy. There's a guy in Pasadena, California. He the name of the place was, oh, this is good. It's Roscoe's. What is it? Roscoe's House of Chicken in Pasadena, California.
Ooh, shout out.
And the guy went in to get chicken and waffles. And the guy was hungry, and that's what we do when we want to eat, right? And he went in, and he didn't wear a mask, and they refused to serve him. Nothing happened. He didn't freak out or anything. He left, and he came back with a pistol. And he fucking held the whole place up at gunpoint, and he did not steal money. He did not do shit. He wanted the chicken and the fucking waffles, and he got the chicken and the waffles. And then on the way out, he grabbed the syrup, which I thought was like the most classic thing a guy could ever do, right? Like, fucking,
that's
give me that
great.
shit. And then on the way out, like he was going to actually leave and do nothing else, he just gently reaches over and grabs the syrup and takes that fucking too. He didn't take any cash. He armed at gunpoint. He came in and stole some chicken and waffles after they refused him service.
Oh, my
So
God.
do you like
and this
chicken
was in
waffles that much?
California?
Yeah, Pasadena,
Wow.
man.
Well, I think I like that idea a lot better than rolling up to the Steak and Shake and begging for a couple of fucking wieners at the door. I mean, you all got any ketchup packets? You good? shit. Those people fed us so well. We got like 2-3 bags of food, a couple of big old bags of French fries, and we figured, what the hell? Let's roll over to Burger King and try it again. They're about to close. Penis fish. You ever heard of penis fish?
I'm about to. I'm excited.
you sure are, man. So all along the Pacific coast, Southern Oregon, all the way down to Baja California. These tens of thousands of, well, quite honestly, they look like giant dicks come floating up onto the beach. I mean, thousands, dude. I mean, if you could see these pictures, they're just, I'd never seen so many dicks in my life. And I hope to never see so many dicks in my life, especially in person. I can't believe I'm looking at this picture. Somebody's holding it in their hands, and it spans
are they
across.
called penis fish?
They are called penis fish. They really are.
Oh
But the funny part is they're an actual. What they are is they're a worm. How bad is that? And what they do is they can't even hardly get this out. They basically they come up on they're like they come up on shore. Yeah, they're gigantic dicks. They come up on shore to basically burrow a hole with their butt, and then basically shit all their eggs and such into a sandy beach, cover the hole, and go back out to sea.
making more penis fish.
Making more penis fish. And apparently there was a big convention in town over the weekend. And I mean, I love this headline. Thousands of 10-inch penis fish washed ashore up on a California beach.
Making all the boys look bad.
Underneath there is a little disclosure, and it says, a penis fish is neither a penis nor a fish. Disgusting.
Oh, for sweet shits. Oh, my God. I've never heard of them.
I never had either. I imagine my surprise when I would just happen to be looking for some strange and odd news, and I roll across this person like this. And they've got a big old dick in their hand.
So tell me,
I gotta click on that. What the?
Does it have like a scientific name to it, like humerus tenebrae, or like the weird Latin names that they put behind it? Because I gotta hear this. They've got
the blob's real name. I'm gonna butcher this. The blob's real name is Eurychus capo.
Eurychus. Oh my fucking Lord! It's like the first time.
Capo. Known more commonly as the fat innkeeper worm or penis fish.
the fat innkeeper, Eurychus. I love it, dude. Well, speaking of dicks, murders have gone up. Murders have gone up by 30% in 2020.
That just has to do with dicks.
Yeah, if you want to talk some dick moves, dude. I mean, I was sitting there reading about like some of the bigger places, like Milwaukee's up like 95%, and Louisville, Kentucky. People in Kentucky are pissed off for some reason. I don't quite understand.
What do you got to be pissed off in Kentucky other than living in Kentucky?
There was a scientist that was so bold to say that a lot of this was spurred on from that Minnesota event with George Floyd, which I kind of get it. There's some angst there and stuff, but that was a pretty bold statement. But yeah,
you had to get serious. Cut my laughter in half with that one. This has to do with George Floyd. Like,
yeah, no, that one was. I mean, that's what the scientist said. I thought that was pretty bold. Personally, I think people are just fucking going crazy. I mean, COVID kind of
just being dicks.
If you have just the slightest bit of problems, COVID just fucking brought those out. You know what I mean? We've all been trapped in our houses, and you're seeing the same people over and over. You feel like you don't have space. You can't just go hang out anywhere anymore. And, that's the way it was anyway. I don't know if it's loosening up there or not, but I think COVID brought all this on. If you were to ask me, why are people going crazy? Well, let's see. You added garments to my outfit.
Lock a motherfucker in his house for a year and tell him, it's only going to be 5 weeks, dude. It's only going to be 5 weeks. And then a year later, come back and see if he's still there. He's not going to be very fucking happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's been quite the ordeal. So I guess people are pissed off. All right. So I pulled up some of the funniest headlines of all times. which I think is funny. I go through these sometimes just to make myself laugh because these are our journalists that are out there. And the people that are their editors are fucking morons too. So, first up,
I like my dogs. Fucking morons.
Let's see.
Sorry.
First up,
I was getting in.
Federal Agents Fest. Federal agents, okay? I want you to imagine a group of guys with guns and jackets, and they're going to bust open a door, okay? They get in there,
Okay.
federal agents raid gun shop, and they find weapons. That is the headline.
In a gun shop.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
going
have
to
never
have this behind one of us.
I would have never guessed that if you raided a gun shop, that you might actually, find a fucking gun.
Yeah, they found weapons. Just so we're all clear. That's ridiculous. So,
Wow. I wonder were any of them the big black type of weapons that everyone's afraid of.
safety meeting ends in accidents. Did I not just mention that Safe and Sound will change your life as far as safety videos go? Safety meeting ends in accidents after a safety meeting concluded at the Kermit Community Center. Recently, officers and EMTs were called to the scene of an accident which involved two men from the safety meeting. Oh.
Did they do a 360 before they went?
They did not. Apparently, the guy was jaywalking across the street when he was struck by a pickup.
Oh,
So,
my God.
That one's, yeah. Woman missing since she got lost. That's what it says. And I cannot wait to put that one behind us on the green screen. Yeah. They're like, well, how long has she been gone? Well, since she's been lost. Print it. You better print that. Oh, here's a good one. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. What do you got for weather up there, Fast, right now? You guys cold? You guys getting some snow?
Well, we definitely got weather up
Are
here.
you getting weather on Monday at least?
The weather has been moving in from the most weatherly direction that it can weather its way into our weatherly area. And right now we have about 6.5 inches of weather on the ground and about 18 inches of good solid weather up in the air right now as well.
Fantastic.
Have you heard this one? Bridge closure date, Thursday or October. State's detour plans draw criticism.
Well, tell me what day that was printed. Like, is October 8 months away at that time? Or is that like the day of print?
January.
Well, yeah, that's fucked up, dude. Like, you got to give me I got to plan my route to work here. Can you give me a little bit more of a better estimated time?
I mean,
and that is some of the funniest headlines of all times.
You heard the whole, hey, we're going to turn like this 650,000 vehicle fleet of government vehicles all to electric vehicles, right? Guess who we're going to buy them from? We're going to buy them from Tesla. Hey, but before I make this announcement, I'm going to tell Nancy Pelosi and her husband to go out and buy up shares of that company first, Insider trading information.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, right? Sink $1 million in and buy shares of a company right before a humongoid government. And I don't know.
Now, is this like a conspiracy or is this real?
No, this actually happened.
This is real? This really happened?
This is real shit. This really happened. Yep, he made this announcement, and right before he made the announcement that he was going to turn all of these cars into this entire fleet into electric vehicles, Nancy Pelosi's husband went out and sank $1 million into Tesla stock.
I wanted to believe Tesla wasn't involved with that, but if they were going to give him a deal from the get-go, I'm sure he sank a fucking ton of money into this presidency.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's insane.
I'm absolutely sure. And I kind of laughed just a little bit, too, because I saw a video the other night where they were celebrating all these nice electric cars, and they were showing how they worked and how they plugged in and everything. And this reporter asked the lady, "Well, where's the power coming from?" And she says, "Well, it's coming from the building here. You know, we just take this cord and we run it from the building and we plug it into the car." He says, "Well, how does the power get to the building?" "Oh, well, that comes off of such and such company." And I think that they're heavy on natural gas, I think. And then they show this reporter asking the representative from the electric company. And he says, "So where does your electrical power come from?" And he says, "We run our grid 95% coal-fired and 5% natural gas." So we're cutting out coal, we're cutting out natural gas, we're cutting out all of this for in the sake of the name of electric cars, that you still need to have coal and natural gas, and you got to strip mine in order to get the batteries. And oh God, strip mining is so horrible for the environment. We already know they're arguing that one. So where does the freaking madness end? That's why I think a guy like Trump was real awesome, where he just was like, "You know what? You guys are fucking dumb. You got to have all this shit combined in order to make this all fucking work. You can't have one without the other. It's like light without dark. You got to have them both. It's a necessary evil to survive."
Well, it's true. And I also have to say, though, the coal industry, the natural gas industry have shot themselves in the foot here, because and even the oil industry, they have spent zero time educating people on what's really going on with the product, right? We know it's clean, we know that kind of stuff, and we've just done an awful job in educating folks. And the only time folks hear about this stuff is when they see like this gross looking pipeline above a swamp in Louisiana, and they just assume that's what everything looks like in the fucking pipeline world. That's how if they want you to envision this as muddy, then that's the picture they portray, when really half the stuff you ever see going to the sky is steam from coal. And, you know, they've done a really good job in starting to clean this up. I'm not saying that there can't be better ways. What I'm saying is the ways that people are against is not as bad, not even near as bad as they think it is. And they are... as a gas guy, I recommend that if you are that person, you go out and shut your shit off right now and shut the fuck up. It is what it is. If you want to be that kind of a fucking person, fine. But let's be honest here. We all don't want to leave a bad world for our kids. But we also need to go and educate ourselves on what kind of damage each product is doing. And I don't know that they're, you know... Are they worried about the byproduct? Are they worried about the actual fracking to get it? I'm not sure, because nobody ever has like this huge, they're not really educated on what they hate. They just know they hate it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's
rage drives the clicks, man.
That's it, man. That's it. Well,
and
fuck.
If you got someone sitting there telling you all the time from a source that you trust that this is horrible, this is bad, fracking is so horrible for this, and fracking causes that, or this causes this, and this causes that. I mean, I'm right there with you. We all want to leave a better world for everyone that comes beyond us, no matter who they are. But at the same time, I mean, like you said, you hate it until you don't have it. And then you understand totally what it means to you. And then all of a sudden, like you said, they're willing to whip out some serious money to have it back. But quite honestly, if they're going to be willing to do it for themselves, they shouldn't be willing to say fuck it for the sake of everybody else. You know what I mean? Grandma and grandpa shouldn't be beholden to Mariah Carey and her opinion. Shouldn't be at all.
Yeah, and their alternative has to be affordable. It has to be just as, I mean, in their minds, it has to be all rainbows like they think it is. And it needs to be that physically. Because in their minds, you know, wind and solar is just this magical fucking thing. Well, I got news for you. All that stuff is still made with oil. There's a lot of stuff that, you know, you're not getting away without much petroleum product there. And so I think they really need to think about, you know, how can we all coexist here? And, you know, if we got to cut it down to thirds, fine. If we got to do things differently, great. But to go and say you got to get a different job is absolute fucking bullshit.
144 products made from petroleum. I don't really want to go through all of them, but let's go through a couple of them, shall we? Of course, you've got your basics. You've got gasoline, heating oil,
Yeah, I
diesel
would
fuel,
love to.
jet fuel, propane, propylene, NGL, LRG, still gas, petrochemical feedstocks, petroleum coke, residual heavy fuel oil, asphalt, road oil, lubricants, miscellaneous products of special naphtha, whatever the fuck that is. Okay, those are your basics. Those are the things that you're saying, oh, we should get rid of. But then you really break it down. What all are we going to lose? Well, ink, upholstery, bicycle tires, dresses, cassettes, motorcycle helmets, CD players or CDs, curtains, vitamin capsules, dashboards, putty, percolators, skis, tool racks, mops, umbrellas, roofing, denture adhesive, speakers, tennis rackets, nylon rope, water pipes, shampoo, guitar strings, antifreeze, clothes, combs, vaporizers, heart valves, enamel, anesthetics, dentures, cold cream, fan belts, refrigerators, cortisone, diesel fuel, floor wax, sweaters, sports car bodies, tires, dishwasher parts, caulking, faucet washers. I mean, come on. There's a million different things out there that you're using petroleum for, and you don't even have a fucking clue. You just think it's going up into the sky. Aspirin, awnings, ice chests, paintbrushes, sunglasses, parachutes, dishes, artificial limbs, folding doors, contact lenses, shaving cream, toothpaste. I mean, you got to definitely understand what you're giving up. You got to understand what you're giving up before
what's the
you
alternative?
just jump on.
And
Honestly,
then what's their alternative? Plastic, because that's even worse, right? You know, what's their alternative to that? It's like, well, okay, what's your argument? Where do you go from there? Okay, we get rid of it. How are you gonna give that veteran his artificial limb, or, you know, how are you gonna do this now? And I'm sure there's other ways. All you're saying is so much of our daily usage has to do with the guy out in the field.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's a fantastic point, and I love that, and I hope, you know, people just start going and reading a little bit more, because yes, we're completely aware that the world's going to shit right now, but it's not just because of these fellas in the field. I mean, you can take the bus to work, you can stop another car from being on the road. There's a lot of things people can do. This whole COVID-19 thing. They were saying, and I said this earlier, that the air and the water got better. Well, who's to say that we can't continue that streak? Why the fuck were we out doing so much shit to begin with? What was it that we were even fucking doing?
Right?
Why?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or were people out there drinking and driving? I mean, well, what is it that everybody had to be somewhere? You know, and I get it. You get together with friends, but was it really that drastic? In difference, like this virus comes and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, the air's good, the water's good, and what that means is when there is no virus, we're fucking up our fucking world. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden now we're out doing what? What are we fucking out there doing? Oh my god, I need Doritos at 11 a.m. or I need fucking ice cream at fucking 12 a.m. And I fucking why am I craving peanut butter and fucking, you know, whatever, Sprite, and you go and you take off in your car at 12:30 and you can do whatever you want. I just think it's fucking weird. You know what I mean? So it's not the guy in the field. It's whatever people were fucking doing. People were fucking driving, obviously, all over the place, or flying all over the place, or just doing whatever. And I get it. We deserve vacations. We work hard. We need to go do things. But how do we cut out all the non-necessary shit? Do you really need to go to that party? You're 34 years old. They're all going to be like 24. You know what I mean? Do you need to be such a dickhead? Do you have to go and, you know, I don't know. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but obviously, you know, if the world's air and water was getting better, it's because we do too much.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I don't disagree.
And COVID-19 was, you know, COVID-19 is a good example of just sit the fuck down. Just stop. Just stop being so fucking all over the place all the fucking time, you know? Maybe that's it. Even if it was a made-up virus, which I'm sure it isn't, but the whole point is, hey, sit the fuck down. Stop doing so much shit. All right, so the guy in Chicago.
God, that's fucking so true. Yes, the guy in Chicago. Based me with the guy in Chicago.
I'm not sure.
Oh my god.
I'll give you one guess where the guy was originally from. It's been a hot topic tonight. A California man was arrested Saturday on felony trespassing charges. Prosecutors say he apparently had obtained airport credentials and survived on food from strangers. He had lived in the Chicago airport for 3 months. That is a very long time.
I heard a little bit about this. I didn't hear a lot, but I did hear a little bit about it. I think I heard it in passing on one of these podcasts that I've been listening to lately. But could you imagine, like, just straight up, like, oh, I found Jack's name tag, and it's lo and behold, Jack didn't report it stolen for 3 fucking months. You know. Meanwhile, I'm getting access to the whole goddamn flight lounge. You know, I got pilots, I got you name it. I'm hanging out with these people living the high life for 3 months. But my question is how does the guy hold on to credentials like that for that long when nobody report their credentials missing?
No, I was gonna say, yeah. And how dumb are you for going, hey Mark, every day? How's it going, Mark? What's going on, man? You know, it's like, hey, good to see you, man. What are you still? What do they ever give you a day off, Mark?
Like,
yeah,
no,
man,
I'm
they don't.
working my ass off, dude. Man, just the other day I was running luggage for fucking Donald Trump was in here, and I was.
You'll never believe this, but I've got a cot in the back there, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're so funny, Mark. You're so funny. You just work too much."
And he's just looking at him like, "No, I'm for real. I have a cot."
Yeah, no, really, I live here. I live here,
I
right
really
by the
do,
Fritos machine.
Yeah, I'm right behind the Fritos and just around the corner from the McDonald's. You just catch their garbage on Friday nights, and I eat like a king.
So everybody's wondering why this man did this. Well, he was afraid of the COVID-19 virus. He didn't want to fly home. So he didn't want to get the virus. Well, obviously, it's not just COVID-19 virus. The guy's fucking crazy. But, you know, that was his excuse for not wanting to go. I mean, that's what I'd tell my lawyer if I was fucking absolutely insane. But that's why he would not. I just think it's crazy that I just cannot imagine. I mean, okay, and right now the people that have to be in the most trouble is the TSA at that airport. Right?
Oh God!
I mean, they're in charge of our nation's security, and here's this guy living there. Hey, Mark. They were even on the Hey Mark train. So,
right,
let's move on.
Bubba's going to pat me down to make sure I ain't carrying something that's going to stab a pilot or something before I get on there. Meanwhile, Mark's running around fucking just shaking his balls for everybody at the airport bar.
and what's even worse is he stole the wrong name tag. His name tag said Judy. His name tag said Judy on there, and everybody never even caught it. It's like, oh, it was a typo. My name's Jude. But it says Judy. No, my name is Jude.
It's supposed to be Joey. The E looks like a D. It was supposed to be Joey.
Yeah, this is French.
Judy.
The U and the T are silent. It's Joey. It's Jules.
3/4 of a fucking bottle. That was definitely. Hey, Johnny Walker, Red Label. I just want to give a shout out to you guys. You made my whole goddamn 2021.
All right, well, I guess that'll wrap it up for this fucking rant session. Man, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this.
Pour it up, pour it up, pour it up, yeah, pour it up.